Europe's Strongest Man 2022 official prediction time. We've been talking about it. We always get excited for Europe's Strongest Man, one of my favourite shows. Liz, you enjoy going up to Leeds for Europe's. It's a great lineup this year. We've looked at the lineup already very, very quickly. Kelvin de Ruyter, Ethor Ingelsson-Melstead, Konstantin Janasha, Pavlo Kordiaka, Alexei Novikov, Paro Dwyer, Ivor Schmokstelis, Luke Stoltman, the defending champion, Shane Flowers, Rauno Heinler, Marius Lalas and Gav Bilton. Great lineup of athletes, great set of events. We've got the log lift for max, the deadlift ladder, the carry and drag, power stairs and the Atlas stones. So different events that we've seen from a few years. Great mix of athletes. It's a proper European lineup. We're excited for the show. It's a hard one to predict.
So let's very quickly address some of the obvious names missing. Tom Stoltman has chosen not to do Europe's Strongest Man because he really wants to commit himself to training for World's Strongest Man and retaining that title. Mateusz Kiliashkovsky, obviously he had to pull out of the Arnold Strongman Classic it was a minor injury, it was just very close to competition. He's doing much better now, but he doesn't want to take any risks and we're quite glad that he's chosen to skip this one. Adam Bishop, a lot of people when the initial lineup was announced, they were like, it's an outrage, where is Bish? I spoke to Bishop, Britain's Strongest Man, he chose not to do it. He's had horrible luck at Europe's Strongest Man and he doesn't want to take any risks either. He wants a really good run for World's Strongest Man this year and he is training for a monster deadlift also later in the year.
Adam wants to pull something massive on the deadlift, so he's going to look towards that later in the year.
Yeah. Graham Hicks, who placed third at Europe's Strongest Man last year, he has pulled out with a groin injury. Am I missing anyone? Those are the names that have been mentioned the most in terms of why is this person not competing?
Yeah, absolutely. Still, fantastic lineup. And I know I've spoken to a lot of people about this contest. I spoke to JF the other day. I've been speaking to Dan Hipkiss and Dale. As well as you obviously and lots of fans as well, and it's a hard one to predict. It's really, I think the variety of the events. Obviously you've got defending champion in there, Luke Stoltman, who's looking fantastic right now.
Former World's Strongest Man in there.
Former World's Strongest Man, what kind of shape is he in? That's a big question there. Konstantin Janasha, everyone's talking him up for this one, myself included. New guys like Pavlo Kordiaka, very good all-round athlete. Marius Lalas always performs consistently well. There's, Shane Flowers was exceptionally impressive at Britain's Strongest Man. I'm expecting big things from him. Paro Dwyer was amazing at Britain's. How's he going to be looking for this one? There's so many questions, and obviously a lot of the athletes will want to use this as momentum to build towards World's Strongest Man. So, with all that being said, Elizabeth, we have to do our predictions, and we've decided to do a top 5 prediction for this one to make it a little bit harder.
Impossible.
So, as we normally do, shall we go from our reverse order first?
No, because I'm not prepared at all. All right, here's my dilemma.
Let's hear it.
I'm trying to think of a top 5 in no particular order, and I have got Luke Stoltman and Alexei. I've got Janasha. I've got Ivers. It's my 5th in the top 5 I'm really, really struggling with.
Well, I've been exactly the same. I've kind of looked through the athletes, I've looked at the events. I mean, if we very quickly go through the events to start with, just to help people decide that are watching that aren't quite sure. You look at log for max in this lineup.
Luke.
In this lineup, Luke is the clear favourite when it comes to the log for max. Luke has won the log for max the last 3 or 4 times that he's done it in competition against the best in the world. So he's won it at the Arnold Classic most recently, where he looked phenomenal. He won it at Worlds last year. He has established himself as one of the absolute best log pressers on the planet. And what he's doing, which always impresses me, is he's winning the log in competition. Not just focusing on single events, he's winning it as part of a full competition, which you have to give him extra props for. So I can't really see anyone touching Luke on the log.
No.
But there's some solid performers on log, such as Janasha, Alexei. Both of those guys are very solid on log. Then there's guys that, Rauno's not a bad log lifter, but you wouldn't put him as, you wouldn't put those guys as like the absolute best.
No.
It's an interesting one for me looking at that log. There's the clear winner, then there's a couple of guys I think will score well, and then there's a lot of guys that can beat each other.
I hope it's not like last year when there was just such a huge split in the points straight away. I don't think so, because they've lowered the opening weight, haven't they?
Yeah, I think last year with the stage, the lights, etc., that will all be addressed.
I'm bringing sunglasses as well, guys, so if you are in a pickle, we will be prepared.
I really don't think we're going to have that issue. Sometimes things like that happen, but I don't expect to see that again. But we'll move on to event 2, which is the deadlift ladder. This is 5 lifts, starting at 300 kilos up to 400 kilos.
Normally, in this lineup with a deadlift for reps, you'd pick Rauno. I would pick Rauno.
I think Rauno and Constantine are both huge deadlifters.
Yeah,
Rauno, I would probably pick on like the axle or something like that. Or a higher elevated deadlift. He's very, very good at like the partial deadlifts. Constantine is a big deadlifter. I also think Constantine's grip is
better than Rauno's.
He's got a good grip.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if it comes down to time, I can see Constantine being the fastest to complete this. I think there's probably only about 3 guys, maybe 4, that could do all of them. I think 400 kilos at the end of a ladder is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
I think guys like Constantine, Rauno, I think Alexei. The only question with Alexei is...
will he wear his suit?
Yeah, he's quite reliant on his suit.
And he can't move in his suit.
So that will be interesting.
How will he get down to each bar?
Is he going to just try and be quick and get like through as many as he can quickly, or is he just going to plan on doing them all slow and steady?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I think Shane Flowers is a great deadlifter as well.
I think the big question is, how much does this cost Luke in points? Is it less than it would be if it was a standard deadlift for reps?
I think Luke's big advantage is that if he wins the log, he'll get to go last.
Yeah.
So he'll have an idea of maybe knowing if he just does 3 fast, it might get him points. That's a big advantage to be in.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of guys that could beat Luke on the deadlift, and this is the one event that maybe could cost him defending his title. Then we move on to the carry and drag. Now, the carry and drag, indoors, the drag isn't usually that hard. So I think it's going to come down to more speed and fitness.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a very, very difficult one to predict. I think if it was outdoors on rougher surface where the drag becomes a lot harder, that becomes an advantage to the bigger guys. But guys like Marius Lalas, exceptionally fast. Rauno's pretty good at these type of things. Novikov.
Janasha, surely.
Janasha will be good.
Luke's great at carrying.
I think Pavlo Kordiaka will be good at this type of event as well. So
yeah, he was very good at OSG.
This is a really hard event to predict, I feel, with this lineup.
Kelvin's good at dragging things.
Kelvin as well. So, you know, it could be anyone on this type of event.
We'll just list them all and then
I think it's going to be an advantage going towards the end.
Yeah.
Because you do see what other guys are doing, and you'll get into your head whether it's a harder pull or it's about just going flat out. It might be one of those events where you've just got to take a risk.
Yeah.
That might pay off. It could be, it could go the other way. Then we have the power stairs. 15 stairs. We don't see power stairs that often these days.
No, we don't see them at a Giants Live. I'm really excited about this. Janasha surely is going to do very well on this event. Also, Ivers.
Ivers is good.
He's got a good track record.
Rauno's not bad as well.
Yeah.
On power stairs.
I would expect Alexei to be very good at this.
Dan assures me that Luke is exceptionally good at power stairs. We've never seen Luke do power stairs in a competition.
Dan is biased.
He's obviously biased, but he's watching Luke train. He's very explosive. Also, Gav Bilton has done well on power stairs, a UK strongest man before. I think the question for me, and I spoke to Dale, and Gav's fitness is the best it's been in a long time.
Good.
Sometimes these fast-paced shows do get to him. So I think by that point, we'll know how his fitness is looking.
I'd expect Pavlo Kordiaka to be good at this. The strongman events he's good at,
I agree with you.
He's not like a static monster, but he's very good at events.
Absolutely. And then we've got the Atlas Stones. Now, you look at the list, there's no like Tom Stoltman's or someone a Lysis or someone like that you think, they're an amazing stone lifter.
No Maxime.
But there's a lot of solid stone lifters.
Yeah, there is.
I was very impressed with Shane at Britain's Strongest Man.
He was very quick.
He was second to Tom Stoltman on the stones.
Luke Stoltman's always a good stone lifter. Ivers is a very good stone lifter.
Ivers is a very good stone lifter.
He's beaten Tom on the stones at Worcester before.
He has done.
Yeah.
So, there's a good good group of stone
Rauno's a good
lifters.
stone lifter. In Manchester last year, he lifted the last stone with a torn hamstring.
Yeah. I think most of the guys are solid at stones, and it often, when it comes to the stones...
Yeah. It depends on your position going
exactly
into it,
that. If you're in with a chance of winning,
Yeah.
you're going to push yourself that little bit harder. If you're kind of slipping off the leaderboard, you know you've got some other competitions coming up, you know, in a few weeks or months. Sometimes you just think, I'll save myself for another day.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a hard one to predict. I've got a top 5 for me.
Have you? In an order?
Yeah, in an order. And
jealous.
to be honest, I've changed my mind probably about 10 times this last week thinking about this.
Yeah.
Because it is so hard to predict. But
Yes.
I've set a top 5 and I'm going to stick to it.
Go on then.
I've got to look at my list.
He's got it written down. I've got nothing.
So are we going to go... I mean, I've got a top 6, but
What?
I'll obviously
That's cheating.
cut out my 6th place.
Yeah.
So we're going reverse or first place first?
First place first.
All right. First place for me in this competition, and I'd love to see this guy do well and win a major show, is Konstantin Janasha. I think looking at the way the events are laid out, with log being first, I think he can be second on the log.
Yeah.
I think he can win the deadlift. I think that's going to put him in a great position, and he's not bad at the remaining events.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you
Can I
get that
just
good
copy
start,
you on this one?
I think he'll put himself into a strong position, and
Yeah.
then it's just pushing hard to, you know, see if he can get on that podium and win.
Never won a major competition. He's got 2 international wins, the Savickas Classic a few years ago, and then what was it, the Siberian Power Show last year. I would love to see, like, I can see him winning with the events, but I can't see him winning. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally get it, but I'm putting him in first place for this one. Who are you going for?
I can't just copy.
No, don't copy. Go for someone else.
I'm
3 hours
gonna.
later.
Do you know what? If circumstances were very different, I'd be picking Alexei.
Okay.
I think like Alexei did absolutely amazing at the Arnold Strongman Classic, but his prep for that would have been pretty much done
Yeah.
when he left Ukraine for Poland and all of that stuff. So even though the week leading up to the competition would have been absolutely awful for him, I do feel like most of his competition prep would have been done. We know he's been training. I just don't like to bet against Alexei because he's all heart, isn't he?
He is.
And he's just got so
He's
much
also someone that just-
determination.
When it comes to the competition, he finds a way.
He does find a way. And does he have any big weaknesses here? Oh, I think maybe the deadlift ladder might actually let him down for the reasons you described. Oh, it's really hard. I'm tempted to stick with Luke.
Go for it. People want you to make a decision.
All right, Luke.
Luke
There we
Stoltman
go.
as your winner.
Yes.
Okay, second place.
Alexei.
I am also going for Alexei in second place.
Good for
I
you.
think when do we, other than the one time at World's Strongest Man last year where he didn't make the final,
Yeah.
when do we not see him on a podium? It's very, very rare.
He's just Mr.
He's-
Consistency. He's so good. Oh, Lozzie.
So we've managed the top 2.
We've got a top 2. There we go. Right, third place for me, Konstantin Janasha.
Okay.
You're going to go for Luke.
I am going to go for Luke
There we go,
Stoltman. I
then.
think Luke's got really good events. I think he's in great form. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on the log. I do feel that the deadlift will cost him a few points.
Fair.
Number 4. Now it gets really hard.
I'm torn between almost all of them. Wow, not quite all of them. Not naming any names.
Just offended the whole list of athletes there.
No.
Shall I tell you who I'm going for?
No.
Okay.
I don't want you influencing me, tainting my vision. Rouvers. No,
What?
Rauno. I
Rouvers.
don't know. Ravers. It's gonna be.
Who are you going for? Rauno?
I know. All right, no. I don't know, Lozzie. Rauno. He came 4th last year. These are still good events for him. Rauno.
These are good events for Rauno. I've also got Rauno as 4th.
Interesting. Now, fifth is really... No, I know who I'm going to have for my fifth. I'm going to have Ivers because I think he's really consistent. I think these are decent events for him. Ivers is really experienced as well. He's done a lot of Strongman Champions League. He's done a lot of different types of events and he's really adaptable. And I just think he'll handle it really well. But I think, you know, it literally could be anyone. Aithor Ingolson, he's really good. He's come on a long way.
Aithor's really good. The one thing for me with Aithor is I don't think log and deadlift are his best events.
Right.
And I think they could cost him.
Okay.
So that's the only reason I don't have him, you know, challenging in this show.
That's the reason I don't have Pavlo as well, because he's a really great athlete at events, but he's not a powerhouse. Yeah. Kelvin, I think like this, I'm really excited to see Kelvin, yeah, and I'm excited to see how he does against a Giants Live lineup instead of a Strongman Champions League lineup. Par, I want to see him do well.
Par, I would have had Par in my top 5,
yeah,
especially with how he did at Brits, but he's picked up an injury recently,
yeah,
and I think in the back of his mind, knowing he's going to World's Strongest Man, he's not going to want to make things worse.
He can't go flat out, surely.
I think he's going to have to be careful. For me, I'm going to tell you who I'm going for.
Okay.
And I've chopped and changed between Marius Lalas, Ivers.
Yeah, Lalas as well.
I am going for Shane Flowers. I'm supporting the Brit. I think Shane really impressed me at Britain's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
I actually think it's great events for him as well. His weakness in this lineup is probably going to be the log, but he hit a 180 PB recently. So I think even if he can go in there and just get the opener, get some points on the board, if he can get the 180, he's going to put himself in an okay position, I think. Then deadlift for ladder, I think he can be really good at. I think the chain and the carry and drag he can be really good at. I think power stairs he's built well for.
Yeah.
And I know how good his stones were at Britain's.
Good shout, to be
I
fair.
think he's going to surprise a lot of people and get into that top 5.
I'm not going to let you talk me out of it. I'm not happy with my list. But I don't think, I can't, like, it's the best I can do. I don't think I will be happy with my list.
It doesn't matter if you're wrong.
Do you know, it does to me. Do you know what's really hard? The more stacked these competitions become, the harder this is to do. Because you come up with your top 5, but then you look at what's outside of it and you think, no, that's not right.
One thing that always happens, look, everyone will talk about predictions. We do it every competition, people do online. And then it comes to competition and someone surprises you.
Yeah.
Don't worry
You never know what's going to happen.
Pick an athlete. You're going to offend, 5 of them, so...
No, I'm not. No, they're not easily offended. I've picked. I'm going Luke, then Alexei, Konstantin, Rauno, Ivers.
Excellent. So there we have it, guys. Our top 5. A little bit different this time.
Yeah.
Similar in terms of like top 5, but just a bit different order.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this one. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great battle. And... the best man will be very deserving on the day. We're looking forward to seeing it. It's going to be a great show. If you guys can't get to Leeds to watch live, there is the option to watch on the Giants Live Facebook page. There is a link in the description down below. Liz will make sure it's there, won't you?
Yes, I will.
We are looking forward to getting some behind-the-scenes action. It's going to be an amazing event. Let us know your top 5 as always, and we'll see you guys next time.